One of the things we keep talking to our guys about is we want to make sure that we're physical defensively, and we do it without fouling. And in the first half, we probably fouled too much. Obviously, with 17 free throw attempts, did a better job in the second half. I think they had 11 in the second half. So we got to keep trying to lead with our chest when we're playing defense and show our hands. Another thing that Brooklyn does very well, they hit the offensive glass, and I thought in the first half we gave up a few too many, but the free throws and the offensive rebounding what kept them in the game in that first half, and we gave up a few too many offensive rebounds. We cleaned that up in the second half, I think giving up 5 for the second half, but our guys did a good job, other than that defensively. We gave them 2 fast break points in the fourth quarter. So we got to keep working on our transition defense. And then we were active defensively. We had 22 deflections. And so anytime we could play a game like that, especially giving up 28 paint points, that's a pretty good defensive game. I thought our contests were good too along the perimeter. Did a great job sharing the basketball and taking care of the ball. 28 assists, 45 or so buckets, and then 8 turnovers for the game. Both Josh and Cat were monsters on the glass. They each had 12 boards on the glass, and every rebound was big for us. Josh was the defensive player of the game. So good win for us on the road, and a lot of contributions up and down the lineup.
Mike, with that, Josh felt like after the first couple stints or so, felt like Josh really kind of allowed the team to get some juice with how aggressive he was guarding defensively. As you mentioned, the deflections. He talked last game about the issues with the team defensively is a mindset. I guess just for a guy to take accountability and not just talk about it, but be about it, how important is that for this group?
It's extremely important, and really, it's what leadership is. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind, especially when he's talking about telling the truth. So having a guy like that as a leader, having a guy like Jalen, we got a couple of veteran guys that are about the right stuff, and that was all that was taking accountability, knowing that we could play better on that end of the floor, but we have to go do it. And we did a pretty good job of it tonight, except for, like I said, sending them to the free throw line.
What do you think of Cat's aggressiveness and his efficiency doing what he did there?
I think he was really good. Again, we tried to move him around quite a bit, and try to have him at the elbow, try to have him in the post, try to put him in a pick and roll game. He just, you can see his comfort level is starting to get there. But I will say that his teammates too understand what one of our key staples is, which is the spacing. If our spacing is right, especially after all the movement that we try to incorporate within what we do in the front court, then he's going to have room to drive. And if he has room to drive, it's going to be tough for his defender because he can shoot the ball if you don't close out close enough to him. So great game by Cat, picking his spots, to drive it, to shoot it, to spray it. He had a couple of great sprays as well. But also, the rest of our guys doing a fantastic job of making sure the floor was spaced correctly.
On that note, with Cat, do you like when he's not settling for the 3 ball when he's being aggressive, trying to get to the rack like he did today?
Yeah, I just like that he mixed it up, and also, his threes. I thought his threes were from the right spots at the right time too, and his aggressiveness opened it all up.
You mentioned fouls in the first half. What do you think contributed to the slow start in the first quarter?
But they're an NBA team, and Jordi Fernandez, he doesn't get enough credit. He's doing a heck of a job with that team while they're going through whatever process they're going through. We just got a little handsy, a little too physical, where we were bumping guys on their shots, and we sent them to the free throw line. I thought we did a better job cleaning that up as the game went along.
You saw the Nets a couple weeks ago. Did you see any difference in how they're playing now?
Yeah, I told Jordi, Jordi's in a tough spot, but the reality of it is, he's a head coach in the NBA, it's the Brooklyn Nets, and, while they're going through this process, just continue doing what he's doing. You could watch like the last couple of games, because we watched games prior to our game. They're playing hard. They're trying to move the ball or move bodies, and they've won some pretty good games. They beat Boston at Boston, had a chance to beat Toronto. Then Toronto on the road. Toronto's playing fabulous. So you could see the marked improvement that they had since we last played them. And again, I attribute it obviously to their players locking in and doing whatever the coaching staff is probably telling them. But Jordi too is a really good young coach.
Okay. Last one, Mike. Back to Cat really quick. They were guarding him primarily with their centers, and when teams do that, he tends to have pretty big performances. What's it been like trying to find the balance of how to get him to have that same aggressiveness and variety when teams are putting wings on him or smaller guards as opposed to centers?
Yeah, again, it's still pretty early, and I've said this a lot that he's got the hardest job on the team in terms of trying to understand how to play all 5 positions. And it doesn't matter if it's 4 on him or 5. I think as time goes on, his comfort level will start to show, and tonight was just evident of it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.